We know now that Dollywood is most likely planning to make an announcement on their 2023 project, aka new roller coaster, very soon. So I wanted to take another minute right here and talk a little bit more about that project, what we know, because we know a lot more since the last video I did on the leaked plans quite some time ago, a few months ago. To catch you up if you don't know what I'm talking about, Dollywood theme park in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee is currently constructing a new roller coaster that will likely be opening during the 2023 season. A site drainage plan was leaked quite a few months ago that gave us a really good look at what this ride was going to look like in the park, but again, we've gotten a lot of new details since then, and a lot of new evidence to suggest the manufacturer of the ride, the theme of the ride, when it's going to be opening, exactly, you know, all that kind of stuff. We had a lot more stuff, so if you've watched amusement park related content on my channel before, then you've probably heard me mention or know that I'm currently going to school in East Tennessee, which makes it really easy to get up to Dollywood. It's my home park when I'm over there. I'm only about 45 minutes away, which makes it, again, very easy. I go up there all the time when I'm over there, but right now I am actually home for the summer, back in my parents' house in suburban Nashville. It's where I am right now. It's kind of a wreck right now. I'm trying to clean out like a bunch of garbage. I have way too much just crap in here. But hey, this is a pretty cool Lego roller coaster thing. So it's relevant. You get to look at it during this video. And so because I've been home at my parents' house in Nashville, I have not been to the park, to Dollywood, to actually see the construction for myself since around mid-May. I did mean to go up there at some point this summer because I'm still not that far away, but about 4 hours away compared to 45 minutes away does make it a bit less practical to get up there from here. And whenever I've had spare time and spare money this summer, there have been several other regional amusement parks that are a little bit more accessible from Nashville that I've been wanting to check out this summer. And those are pretty much the only videos I've been able to upload on the channel all summer. So you can go check those out if you haven't already. But between those site plans being leaked out and me coming back here, I did get to see a decent bit of the construction starting to take place, a very slow start. So first of all, right in March of this year for season pass holder preview, I could see they already had survey markers down, marking, I suppose, where the supports would be going for the roller coaster. That's typically why they do survey markers. And while I haven't like flown a drone over and done like an engineering study or anything, it seemed pretty obvious just from looking at it that those survey marker placements around the Wildwood Grove area in Dollywood did match up with that leaked site plan we saw before, which seemingly confirmed that site plan to be what we're looking at for this roller coaster. And then over the next few months before I came home for the summer, they started doing some digging. And that was about it. They put in like some culverts for like drainage and stuff. I know that stuff's important, but nothing real exciting on the actual roller coaster construction. However, over the summer, I have been kind of scouring YouTube, trying to just, you know, find clips of other people's videos where they've mentioned it. I haven't seen any like good pure construction updates, but I've seen just clipped in some other people's vlogs, some videos of the construction, as well as some photographs from Reddit and stuff. I can't show that stuff in this video because it's other people's content and I don't have their permission. However, I can say that I have seen in those videos and in posts that they have actually started laying down the foundations for the ride, so that's about as far as we made it so far. However, something else exciting that's happened over the summer that I'm really sad that I was missed out on is that they've actually started the teaser campaign for this ride, which is pretty cool. I like when parks do a teaser campaign instead of just flat out just making an announcement. It makes the build up to said announcement much more exciting and gives us time to speculate, even if we have already seen the site plans. So along the construction walls that are going on the back half and the side of Wildwood Grove, literally like the week after I left to come back here, Dollywood started putting up like scratch marks and paw prints and different things like that on the fences in Wildwood Grove, which seemed to suggest some kind of bear theme for this new attraction. And that was further followed up like 2 months later with literally like in the last week, or maybe it was about 2 weeks ago, that we got this poster seen throughout the park. It was posted in a few different locations throughout the park, and then Dollywood also slyly posted it on their social media sites. Actually, I don't think it was Dollywood that posted it on their social media sites. I think it was Pete Owens, who is the vice president of, I think, communications for the park. This poster is asking Dollywood park guests if they have seen, well, a bear. I find this interesting because it's not the like playful, cartoony, like friendly bear that's like a mascot in Wildwood Grove. No, it's a pretty scary looking bear. Maybe not scary, but kind of realistic and gritty. It looks like a bear and not a cartoony, friendly bear, which is kind of cool because I'm hoping that suggests for this ride that we have a little bit more of a, I don't know if gritty is the right word, but everything in Wildwood Grove is just very cartoonish and playful, and so it'd be nice to have something that's still in the Wildwood Grove spirit of, I guess it's simulated nature, but something slightly more realistic kind of to go along with that. First of all, I think it'll appeal to somewhat older audiences a little bit better. And two, I just like that side of Dollywood better. I love stuff like Daredevil Falls and Barnstormer to an extent, where there's that kind of like, I say gritty theming. That's probably not exactly what I'm going for, but that's the only word I can really think of to describe the kind of atmosphere that those rides project. Anyways, the poster instructs that if you have seen this bear, that you should contact Ned Oakley at the Outpost at Wildwood Grove. And interestingly, there's actually a phone number down there, which is what I really like about this. I like when parks kind of incorporate ARG elements into their teasing for new attractions. This is a relatively recent thing that some parks have started doing, and I'm glad Dollywood's jumped on this trend. So if you call this phone number, it is actually a real phone number, and you'll hear a little recording.
This is Ned Oakley. I set up this hotline to gather tips about an especially big bear. I'm guessing you've got some information since you called this number. I've been hearing stories about this bear roaming these hills and hollers for years. Those who've seen him swear that he's the largest bear they ever seen. These are mountain folk who are accustomed to bears. Others don't believe it. They say Big Bear's just an old wives' tale. Well, that may be so, but I'm on the lookout to prove once and for all that Big Bear is real and lives right here in Wildwood Grove. I'm planning excursions to go searching for Big Bear starting next spring. Maybe you won't come help me look. If you've seen Big Bear, have some information, or better yet, some evidence related to his whereabouts, see me at the Adventure Outpost Base Camp in Wildwood Grove. Things are going to get big.
Nothing like a good old teaser like that to get you hyped up for a new ride. I know this is probably going to be more of a family coaster and not like a giant thrill ride, but I'm still pretty excited for it, and this is getting me more hyped up. So there's actually a lot of takeaways that we can take away. Well, yes, you take takeaways away. What am I talking about? There are a lot of things that we can pick up about this new ride just from these teasers before Dollywood even makes the official announcement. First of all, it is going to be opening next spring, I'm pretty sure, since in the recording, Mr. Oakley there does specifically specify that he's going to start expeditions next spring. I've heard a lot of skepticism from other Dollywood fans and coaster enthusiasts in particular that think that based on the current construction progress, this ride won't be ready until like the late summer or fall next year, but I don't think that they would put in the recording that expeditions were going to start in the spring if it wasn't going to start till the summer or fall. So I do think we're looking at a spring 2023 opening for this ride. Now that doesn't necessarily mean opening day for the park. I mean, opening day for the park is in the middle of March, where sometimes it is still cold in Tennessee for some reason. Weather's just funky here. Wildwood Grove, which was Dollywood's last major expansion project, but also their last major new thing to open, was set for a spring 2019 opening, and it opened in like mid-May. So we could be looking at as late as a mid-May opening for this ride, but I'm really hoping that it's like an April or even opening day for the season would be awesome. Dollywood used to try to hit opening day for the season deadlines for most of their new attractions. I think where they got off track was with Lightning Rod because, well, we all know how that ride went, and if you don't know how that ride went, well, I implore you to research. Anyways, the rest of what we can take away from this is the theming, which is what I'm actually really excited about. I was concerned when we originally started seeing the bear teasers that it was just going to be like a ride on the back of a cartoony bear kind of theme for the ride, like what we saw with Black Bear Trail, but this seems to take a very different direction from the kind of more serious looking bear on the poster and the way that Ned Oakley talks. I don't think we're going to be riding on the back of bears here. I think we're going to be in vehicles that are themed to kind of an ATV or something like that, and we're going to be going out into Wildwood Grove to search for this bear, which I personally think is a much better theme for the ride. One of my biggest problems with Wildwood Grove, as decent of a themed area it is. It's not perfect, and one of my major criticisms with it is that there doesn't seem to be like a storyline with anything. Not that every themed ride needs to have an elaborate storyline, but so much of Wildwood Grove just seemed to be just slap a random animal on there and call it a day. Like, what on earth is a dragon flyer? What does this ride signify? I don't know. I feel like it's a lot less impactful to do that than to have like a storyline like this. I feel like this will make the ride a lot more exciting. I mean, Wildwood Grove in general does have a storyline to it, but it's not obvious when you're in the park. Unless you're a Dollywood fan or a coaster enthusiast that like read the description of Wildwood Grove on the website in detail before you entered the park, you'd have no idea what was going on here. So Mr. Ned Oakley in this recording does discuss the Adventure Outpost Base Camp, which I think is going to be the theme, the main theme of this ride is going to revolve around said outpost, run by Mr. Ned Oakley himself. I want to meet this man now. So I'm thinking like the station and the queue line and that kind of stuff will be the Adventure Outpost Base Camp, and then from there you'll depart on the roller coaster in like an ATV type vehicle to go out searching for this bear. Hopefully this means we'll get a decent bit of a themed queue. Knowing Dollywood will at least get a really well-themed station, but I'm hoping we get a themed queue as well that kind of tells this storyline to guests that, you know, didn't read the teasers back now and aren't paying attention to the announcement and stuff. Because I think the storyline has a lot of potential to, again, make this more of an impactful ride than just, you know, most of what already exists in Wildwood Grove. I think they really have an opportunity here to go all out with the design of the Adventure Outpost Base Camp and make it something truly special. Because another problem I have with Wildwood Grove is so many of the buildings look the same. Most of the buildings near the front of Wildwood Grove actually look really nice, but as you get toward the back, you have a lot of what's essentially just like generically painted pavilions with like, I don't know, like butterfly cutouts. I don't know, it just starts to feel really cheap. And I think they have the opportunity here to do something that's a bit more immersive and more of a distinctive building that will stand out. Also, this might be wishful thinking, but I really want to see like a bear animatronic here. I'm a big fan of a good animatronic, and really the only one we have in Dollywood is like the bird outside Mystery Mine. I'd love to see one during this actual ride experience somewhere, maybe near the last Spaghetti Bowl section, somewhere in there. I think it would fit really well. If they go with some kind of storyline for the ride, it kind of ends with you actually finding this big bear. That would be freaking cool. And it's like an animatronic. Yeah, that'd be awesome. It's probably wishful thinking. We're probably not getting a big bear animatronic, but one can dream. So one of the biggest debates among enthusiasts when this ride was leaked to begin with was who is going to be the manufacturer of the ride. We could kind of look at the track layout and get kind of an idea of what it's going to be like, but without knowing who's building the ride and what the ride type is, we can't get an exact feel for what the ride experience is going to be like. And so a lot of people guessed a lot of different guesses. Some of the most popular ones thrown out there were a Mock Rides multi-launch of some sort, or a Intamin family multi-launch of some sort. But actually, I'm pretty sure it's neither of those. I think it's actually going to be a Vekoma multi-launch of some sort, which is something a lot of enthusiasts actually predicted, but more as like a, hey, this would be cool, this might happen, and not a legitimate prediction. But some people did legitimately predict it, so if you did, good job. I was more on the Mock Rides train, so I was wrong though, apparently. It's funny, this data has been available for a very long time, and it seems like we just now discovered it recently. I was not the one that thought to do this. I got tipped off on Reddit. Great place, apparently. So import data for a lot of different companies actually exists publicly. I say publicly. A lot of these websites, it's kind of hard to dig through because all of the websites showing the apparently publicly available import data will like ask for subscriptions and stuff, and I guess I get it, it's a business, but it's kind of hard sometimes to find one that will actually, you know, just give you the listings that you're looking for. I did find one, but the website appears to be down now, but I did take a screenshot, so, and I've seen several other enthusiasts across the internet cross-confirm this with other import listing websites. So basically this year, Dollywood made 2 different imports from Vekoma amusement rides in the Netherlands to the US, one on March 16th, 2022, and once on March 17th, 2022. Now, Dollywood already has a Vekoma roller coaster in the park. That would be Dragonflyer, their newest. It's a Vekoma family suspended, but that is the only ride in the entirety of Dollywood, I'm pretty sure, that is a Vekoma manufactured attraction. Of course, someone's probably going to correct me. There's probably something in Country Fair or something, but I'm pretty sure there's not. I think this is it. And so on the 16th of March, Dollywood received a shipment to Dollywood warehouse, which I'm assuming is some kind of off-site facility for storing spare parts of set of parts for an amusement ride. 4 packages, about 1,000 kilograms. And so I think it's pretty obvious here that these are spare parts for Dragonflyer. Roller coasters and amusement rides in general are pretty sophisticated pieces of equipment that require constant maintenance and upkeep to keep running in their prime. And that requires ordering a lot of replacement parts from the manufacturer or third parties. And so it makes sense that they would be ordering some parts for Vekoma to keep Dragonflyer up in tip-top shape. But then there's a second shipment from Vekoma on March 17th. And I think it's pretty hard to argue that this is not for Dollywood's 2023 roller coaster. First of all, it's not being shipped to the same Dollywood warehouse location as the set of parts, apparently. It's going directly to the park itself. I wonder about that one. It's also coming from Vekoma's Belgium facility instead of their main Netherlands facility. That may have nothing to do with anything, but it's worth noting. The main kicker here is A, they already have the spare parts shipment for Dragonflyer, so why were they getting another shipment the next day? 2, it's a much bigger shipment. 14 packages, 15,000 kilograms. I see no universe where that could just be spare parts for Dragonflyer. Dragonflyer is a decently small roller coaster. 15,000 kilograms and 14 packages. No, it's just too much. Also, the product details on the import registry is roller coasters containing 14 packages set of foundation for amusement ride. It's kind of hard to argue with that. Dollywood's getting a Vekoma. So what model of Vekoma roller coaster are we looking at here? Not exactly sure. I think something with a launch for sure, because looking at that leaked track layout, I don't think there's any way that this is any kind of chain lift coaster. I just don't think that makes sense with this layout. I think it is launched, and that also makes more sense with the whole theme of going out on an expedition, having a launch instead of a chain lift. Probably 2 launches on here, actually. But yeah, other than that, the seating position is kind of up in the air. I've heard rumors flying around about this being a flying coaster, as in you're in a laying down position. That doesn't seem to make any sense with where these supports are placed in the leaked documents. Also, that wouldn't really fit with the theme, so I'm personally thinking this will be one of Vekoma's motorbike coasters. Vekoma's done a few of these in the past. Most recently, they've done the Tron roller coasters at Shanghai Disneyland, and coming soon to Magic Kingdom. So something like that, I think, is what Vekoma is probably bringing to Dollywood for this project. But again, there's really no way to know for certain until the actual announcement is made by Dollywood. Speaking of which, I don't think I mentioned earlier, that announcement is apparently happening on August 5th. Dollywood hasn't officially put it on their website or social media channels or anything like that, but apparently they have been contacting and notifying different members of the media and very, very high up people in the enthusiast community that they are going to be making that announcement on August 5th. And so it's I'm 75% sure it's legit. Actually, make that 95% sure, because I don't think the local media would be posting it if it wasn't true. So, just seems weird that they would start notifying those people before they notified the public. Usually they do that all at the same time, but who knows? I'll be refreshing my emails the next few days and waiting to get my season pass holder invitation to the announcement event. Unless they decide to only invite media this year, which doesn't really matter either way, because I won't be here. I'll actually be at Kings Island that day. Yeah, this is kind of random and off topic, but my enthusiast friend Nathan and I are taking a 2-day, 2-night trip to Kings Island that weekend, which is going to be a lot of fun. We're really excited to get back to that park, both one of our favorite parks of all time. So that'll be fun and exciting, but apparently this announcement will be happening while we're there. So that'll be kind of cool in the Kings Island vlog and stuff, to be seeing what the Dollywood coaster is while we're at another theme park. That's just the coaster enthusiast life though, isn't it? Anyways, looking at the leaked site plan one more time before we call it a day for tonight, just summarizing what I already kind of predicted and analyzed the first time that these documents leaked, that I don't think has really changed, is I think what we're looking at here is a multi-launch roller coaster. It looks like you'll dispatch from the station, launch to the right on this diagram, up the hillside, you'll kind of meander around the hillside, turn around to come back, second launch into this little spaghetti bowl section by the entrance of the ride, which is a lot more compact, and which is where I'm hoping most of the thematic elements of the ride experience will take place, if there are any, which I really hope there are. Again, I think what we're looking at here is probably like an ATV themed thing. I will be surprised if that's not what it is. And of course, as the teasers mentioned, we're going on an expedition looking for Big Bear. So what makes sense to me is that you leave the outpost and you head out into the far reaches of Wildwood Grove, kind of around the corner there, to look for Big Bear. You start heading back to the outpost, and that's when you see Big Bear right by the outpost, and you kind of enter that little tight weaving section around I guess trying to, I don't know, get pictures of Big Bear or something. And that would be the perfect opportunity to stick a Big Bear animatronic right in there. I know there's some interactivity with the rest of the park in that little section. It's hard to make out with how blurry the diagrams are, but people have, been able to interpret that there's at least one like tunnel through there and some park paths and a little plaza that will interact with at least part of that area. And it would be maybe a little bit weird to have the Big Bear animatronic visible from the park path if they decide to have a Big Bear animatronic. So maybe that's hidden off a little bit. Or maybe it would be cool to be able to see that from the park. It just would make the story of the ride not make sense. I'm way overthinking this right now. I'm just thinking that's where you have most of the ride's storyline take place, and you have at least a Big Bear animatronic there. Boom. But anyways, that's about what we know right now. If you have any thoughts, I would love to hear them. Any predictions? Hope you've enjoyed this little look at what we know and kind of my predictions and analysis based on what we know about this new Vekoma roller coaster coming to Dollywood in spring of 2023. Can't wait to see what the model is. Can't wait to see what the final theming is for the ride and anything else like that. On August 5th, only about a week and a half out from when I'm recording this. I don't know when I'll actually get this edited and uploaded because my work schedule is a little bit busy. But again, would love to hear what you think. Would love to speculate with you guys and analyze all this with you guys. And hopefully I'll be able to upload videos at a higher frequency soon. I know I say that all the time and I never do, so oops, but I really do enjoy making videos here. It's a very big passion of mine that I hope to continue pursuing, and I hope that you continue joining me for these little talks, and I'll see y'all later.